Imagine finding real comfort and connection with strangers when you're facing a journey where just surviving day to day is uncertain.
It's a powerful idea, and it really brings us to Javier Zamora's memoir, Solito.
Right, his firsthand account, a young boy traveling from El Salvador to the U.S.
Exactly. And for our exploration today, we've actually been using mindful moments. It's an AI tool that helps prompt reflection, deeper thinking about narratives like this one.
That's interesting. And we're focusing specifically on the surprising positives, right? The connections Javier makes.
Precisely. The bonds, the kindness he finds during what was, let's be clear, an incredibly treacherous journey.
Even early on, before he leaves, you really feel his anticipation, waiting for his parents from La USA.
Yeah, and he has this image of his father, doesn't he? Built from photos, things people say.
And you see that deep bond with his grandparents, with Tia Molly. There's such warmth there.
There is. But it's also a community deeply marked by migration, people leaving. It's just part of life, that constant sense of absence.
They're here, and then they're not, as he puts it. And his shyness towards his father, who's more of an idea than a daily presence.
Mm-hmm. And those small rituals, like the embroidered handkerchiefs for Mother's Day each year, it keeps that connection alive, even across the distance.
That word soon keeps coming up. His parents are coming soon. You feel his impatience growing.
You really do. Even Tia Molly saying, be patient, Chipito. It only goes so far for a kid longing for his parents.
And he's smart, too. Class valedictorian, a bright kid trying to navigate all this.
Yeah, and Zamora subtly weaves in the background context, doesn't he? The increasing violence.
Right, through Javier's observations of Don Dago, the coyote. The fact that more people need his services. It's grim.
It is. And that memory of his mother leaving, the regret of falling asleep after she said, te quiero mucho. It's heartbreaking. Shows the weight of it all.
Then there's the practical side Molly tries to explain, this idea of becoming Roberto Jr., a fake identity. How strange that must seem to a child.
Totally. And the detail about Grandpa's appearance, how he looks different when he's preparing to travel versus relaxing at home. Small things that signal huge changes.
Even Abuelita teasing Grandpa. It adds that touch of normal life right before everything changes.
We get these little glimpses of Javier, too, like getting in trouble for writing, I'm too young for love.
Yeah. A typical kid thing, but in this extraordinary context. And wanting to leave before the next grammar competition.
And Molly teasing him about being a pet to your gringuito teachers and his hope that kids won't make fun of him in the U.S. shows he's thinking about fitting in already.
The nuns talking to Grandpa about Javier missing school, that underlines the disruption.
Right. And Don Dago showing up, asking about Javier's tooth. A little moment of, almost normal interaction within this whole business arrangement. Don Dago, the coyote, the border crossing facilitator.
Then the morning he leaves with Grandpa, that description is so vivid.
Indigo sky, roosters, Molly's kiss, packing only dark clothes like Don Dago said. The need to be invisible.
And Grandpa's instruction, don't look back. So simple, but so loaded.
It really is, both practical and symbolic. Then, reaching the bus station, Grandpa talking to a stranger hints of those informal networks.
Meeting Don Dago again and that stark instruction, sit apart, he's not your anything. Oof.
Yeah, sets the tone for the anonymity needed. But then, Grandpa mentioning Marcelo is from their town. A tiny bit of comfort.
Even Javier worrying about using public toilets, it reminds you how new and scary everything is for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The bus ride, the soldier checking passports in Guatemala, that 15-day stamp.
Yeah.
The mechanics of crossing borders become real.
And then he meets Ale, the Mexican boy. His excitement is kind of sweet, isn't it? Meeting a Mexican for the first time.
It is. It shows that natural curiosity, the possibility of connection even when you're just in transit. A reminder of shared experiences.
So they arrive in Ticunamon, meet Don Carlos, another point in this network.
Right, and Don Dago lays out the rules. Where to sleep, when to eat. Trying to create some structure in the chaos.
And here, Javier meets the core group, really. Marta, Marcelo, and Chino.
Yeah, and you see him slowly adapt. The initial shyness, even about the toilet, starts to fade. Shared breakfast becomes a small routine.
He's watching the others, too, picking up on the dynamic between Marcelo, Chile, and Chino.
Foreshadowing, definitely. And Grandpa teaching him things, town names, the address, phone number, acts of love, really, preparing him.
The Baisa taxi driver, Jesus, talking about his dreams, a little slice of life in that transit town.
And Grandpa teaching him to tell time by the sun, passing on practical knowledge, self-reliance.
That final Baisa taxi ride, Grandpa's words are so encouraging.
You're going to get there safely. Tell your parents I say hi. And the bit about the Cadejo protecting him.
A spirit protector, right, adds that touch of folklore, of deeper reassurance.
Yeah. And Javier finally saying, "Lo quiero mucho" to Grandpa. That's a big moment before they separate.
The shift is immediate once Grandpa's gone. He feels like wet sand, so vulnerable.
Completely adrift. And now he's sharing a room with Patricia and Carla. New people, new dynamics.
Marcelo seems distant, asks him to fetch cigarettes, not exactly warm.
No. And then Don Diego drops the bomb. New plan. Crossing into Mexico by boat. Skipping Tapachula.
Suddenly everything changes. You feel the adults worry about stories of migrants dying.
And Don Diego just brushes it off. Shows the danger and the callousness sometimes involved.
But then Patricia does that little thing, guiding him and Carla away from the table like a train, a small kindness.
Those small kindnesses become huge. The boat journey itself sounds terrifying.
Pitch black, smell of gasoline, fear of capsizing.
But then there's the older Mexican man, plebe, with the white beard. A moment of quiet kindness.
His presence, just being different, offers some comfort. And the shared fear, Patricia praying, it creates a strange sort of bond.
He feels like a paper boat. What a perfect image for their vulnerability. And the contrast with home is stark.
Then the harshness snaps back. The Mexican coyote yelling, "Rotate Coronas."
Yeah, but even then, that brief moment where a stranger points out birds means there are fish nearby. Shared humanity just for a second.
Javier's physically miserable too. Sunburn, nausea. But he quit practicing the U.S. city names, holding on to hope.
The loud motors, the cold, and that poor man hallucinating, thinking he sees his family. Just awful.
But then Chino steps up, unexpectedly kind.
Bicho, Vinny, I'm going to cover you like Pataki. Offer his jacket. That's a turning point.
And Patricia notices, tells Javier that Chino is good, reinforcing that connection forming between them.
Arrival on the Mexican beach is just chaos. Coyote yelling, rushing them.
That 3-minute bathroom rule. No control. But showering, Chino teasing. A bit of normalcy.
Kinda. And the donuts pastries. A taste of home reminding him of Abuelita. A small comfort.
Then it's another crowded terminal, a new coyote, more unknowns.
And warnings about language use aguas frescas, not soda. The constant need to blend in, seem like you belong.
Javier trying a cigarette, feeling older, finding some courage. It's complex, isn't it? A kid forced to grow up fast.
Very. Then the nicer bus, AC, velvet curtains. A brief, unexpected bit of luxury almost.
But still performing, practicing being Guadalajaran, knowing the anthem, survival tactics.
Until the military checkpoint. That constant fear bubbling up.
And then Chino, Marcelo, and Chile are pulled off the bus just like that. Terrifying.
Their little group fractured. Patricia whispering, "Don't look, don't look." Trying to shield him, maybe herself too.
The uncertainty, Coyote trying to negotiate, soldiers patting them down, total powerlessness.
Javier escapes into his imagination for a moment with Paul of the Lizard. Childhood resilience finding a way.
Then Mr. Dollars gets hit. Marcelo's reaction seems harsh, but maybe it's a defense mechanism.
Could be. Harsh realities. Coyote says they have to hitchhike. Marcelo teaches them fake, learning the ropes of this rough world.
Getting picked up in a truck, hearing that song, Como Te Lo Acuerdo, connecting him back to Molly and Abuelita through music.
Music is an anchor. Then arriving in Acapulco, seeing the bay, shared excitement about seeing their parents again. Hope flickers back.
But the reality is still basic. Small bathroom, sharing toothpaste, stained mattresses, intimate shared hardship.
Praying secretly. Patricia and Carla bickering like siblings almost. Not much to do but wait.
Patricia becoming protective, like his own mother. That surrogate family solidifying.
Shared meals, growing closer. Even Marcelo showing kindness during a fish fry. Little shifts. And, thinking about this point, tools like mindful moments and discussions like we have on our podcast really help unpack that remarkable human ability to connect, even when things are truly dire.
Absolutely. So Guadalajara, there's almost a routine now with Patricia and Carla.
Yeah, a strange kind of normalcy. And the bus smells clean, like a new toy from La USA. Symbol of hope, maybe.
But they still have to pretend not to know each other. That constant need for deception.
The smells of the city remind him of San Salvador. Familiarity in a strange place. Following Coyote through the crowds, totally dependent.
Another cramped apartment, more waiting. And Coyote warns them the hardest part is still coming. Ugh.
Never ending. Watching TV, hearing sounds from downstairs, just existing in limbo.
Javier handles it well, though, despite Carla still being a bit cold. He's resilient.
They visit a big church. Coyote gets a call, maybe about their parents. Anticipation builds.
Patricia tries to reassure him. Coyote takes them to a phone booth. This could be it.
Patricia makes a call. Javier tries to ask Coyote about his parents, but he just gets brushed off. That power dynamic again.
But then Carla, she does something kind, unexpectedly.
Come here, bichito. Pulls him close. A real moment of connection, of shared understanding. Powerful.
Then, Los Mochis. A sleepless night, thin motel walls, men snoring, more anxiety.
Checkpoints expected. Coyote says the fake papers are good, tells Patricia specific things to do. Adults face different risks.
An argument on the bus, and Marcelo is removed again, just constant instability.
Patricia despairs. Ya valimos. We're done for. The fear is overwhelming.
They arrive at an even smaller house. New Poleros, Mario and Paco, take over. Coyote leaves, saying they're in good hands.
Right. Mario and Paco explain the plan. Walk at night through the desert.
Chino keeps asking questions. Javier's starting to understand what La Migra really means. The desert isn't what he pictured.
Danya, the woman there, cares for them silently. Simple food, basic instructions. Then the final prep, nervous energy.
Chile trying to lighten the mood, singing the Mexican anthem, and Javier puts on his good shoes, a hopeful gesture.
Mario gives clear instructions. Silence, stay in the dark. The desert crossing begins.
Single file in the dark. Mero is the main guide. The desert feels huge, alien.
They have to rely on each other. The pace is slow. They see bunnies strangely normal.
Then sudden for a helicopter. La Migra! Hiding. Marcelo quietly reassures him.
Water runs low. Everyone's thirsty. Marcelo gets injured. How will they manage?
Mero says the road is close. They rest briefly. Chino finds a way to help. Resourceful.
The final fence. A quick, coordinated scramble across. Hiding in bushes as dawn breaks, freezing cold, huddling together.
And then the encounter with the armband on horseback, absolutely terrifying.
Patricia pleading, no me le haga nada, mis hijos, claiming them as her own.
Then the uniforms arrive. Migra, chaos, fear, Patricia screaming. Chino hesitates, a dog barking.
Just pure panic. Cold sweat, can't breathe. The officers are calm but firm. Carla's hand is ice cold.
Chino's taken away. They're put in a hot vehicle. Patricia is removed. Javier and Carla are left, pretending to be asleep.
The weight is agonizing. Hearing the others who were caught. The shame of having to pee in front of the officers.
And Javier whispering to Chino before he is taken, hago pipí, the ultimate vulnerability.
They end up in a cold holding cell, sharing a blanket. Their backpacks are gone. They feel dirty.
The realization hits. We are deportados. Deported.
Back at the border, seeing the Mexican flag again. Waiting in the heat. Patricia suffering. More deportees arrive. It's a cycle.
But then, a joyous moment, they see Chino again, reunited.
Sharing water. A nun helps them find a ride to a shelter, shared beds again, meeting other Salvadorans, hearing their stories.
Familiar music playing. But they all long for their real families.
Final showers in Mexico, still hoping to see their parents soon. And then Coco Liso, another guide, returns. Hope rekindled.
He gives instructions for the next attempt. Even Owl calls us signals. Back into the desert.
Single file again. Familiar sounds, but also new dangers, thorny cacti. Patricia and Carla get covered in needles.
Cocoliso hurts his ankle. Uncertainty ripples through the group. They see deer, unfamiliar wildlife, more fences, close calls with cars, energy fading. They have to rest, share the little food they have.
Cocoliso slips away quietly. They're abandoned. But strangers offer water. Small mercies.
Desperation mounting. The final push. The group starts to break apart in the confusion.
And then Chino incredibly carries Javier. An amazing act of loyalty and strength.
But then they hear it again. Ele Ibira. Another frantic run.
So close, yet caught again. The intense emotion of almost making it. The trauma repeating. What happens now?
All Javier wants is his parents. A real bed. Simple things. Someone whispers, Ya la hicimos. We made it. Maybe.
A final van ride. They arrive at a house. A phone call, and the news finally comes.
Your parents are coming tomorrow at 9 a.m. Disbelief, then overwhelming joy.
And the reunion. That powerful embrace with his parents after everything he endured.
Wow. What a story. Javier's journey, especially thinking about his bond with Chino, Patricia, and Carla, it just shows incredible resilience.
It really does. These unexpected connections formed under the worst circumstances, and that persistent hope. It's astonishing.
It definitely encourages you, or I hope it encourages listeners, to think about the individual human stories behind big issues like migration, the need for empathy, for connection.
Yeah. Maybe ask yourself, what moments of unexpected kindness have made a difference in your own life?
That's a great question, because Javier's experience, being helped so much by other kids, essentially, highlights how vital those human connections are in our toughest moments.
Absolutely. It's like there are these invisible threads of empathy,
Yeah.
connecting us even when circumstances try to tear people apart.
So we encourage you to subscribe to our podcast for more explorations like this one.
And share this discussion with someone you think would appreciate stories of human strength and resilience.
You might also consider getting Solito. We'll put a link in the show notes. It supports Javier Zamora's voice, which is so important.
And most importantly, keep thinking critically. Question the narratives you encounter and seek out these deeper human stories.